As a leader, your actions do have consequences, even when you do them on your own personal time. So if you ever want to lead and lead successfully, I suggest that you never do something stupid like this.
A Polish millionaire is speaking out today after facing backlash for stealing a hat from a child at the U.S. Open this week, and it wasn't to apologize. Yikes. This happened after a match when tennis star Kamil Myshak was signing autographs after his win. He took off his hat to give to the boy, but that man snatches it away and takes off with it. After facing criticism online, the man responded by saying, quote, "If you were faster, you would have it," and threatened legal action for those criticizing him. But Myshak met up with the boy afterwards and gave him another hat to make up for it. I don't know what that man can do to make up for his actions.
Piotr could have easily avoided this mess and scandal completely if he had any leadership skills and common sense at all. So let's look at the timeline so that we can see what actually happened and then how we can actually apply this to ourselves as leaders. So on August 28, 2025, there was a US Open tennis match where the Polish player Kamil Myszak won, and he then approached the crowd and he gave autographs. So he also signed his own hat and gave it to the kid. When Piotr actually reached in and grabbed the hat and took it for himself. And as you may imagine, in this age, the media noticed, there were videos and all of that, and then social media went nuts. So somewhere between when the social media went nuts, Piotr deactivated or privatized all of his social media accounts. People were saying that what Piotr actually did was that he said that the kid should have been faster and that he was the rightful owner of the hat because he was faster and stronger and just took it away from the kid. And at the same time, it was also said that he threatened to sue anybody who would be publicly defaming him, as he was a public figure, a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. So what happened afterwards was that he started getting review bombed. His company was starting to get review bombed. So Drogbrook, and on Google reviews, it actually has around 1.3 to 1.4 star rating, which could definitely tank his company's definitely reputation, but also his future profits and revenues, right? So, and his countrymen in Poland actually blasted him as a sack of garbage, common thief, primitive scammer, and shameful jerk. In addition, another person said the CEO has been publicly seen being malicious towards a child and publicly confirming his actions. His behaviors reflect his company values, as he is the main representative. Do not do business with a boy who thinks he is the man. Now, on August 30th, Marszak, so the tennis player, actually located the young kid and gave him a signed hat and some other memorabilia. And it was also, of course, publicized, photographs were taken, and all of that stuff, right? So then September 1st, Piotr Szczerek finally broke his silence with a public apology. And what he said was the following: "I know I did something that seemed like consciously collecting a memento from a child. This wasn't my intention, but it doesn't change the fact that I hurt the boy and disappointed the fans. The hat was given to the boy, and apologies to the family. I hope I've at least partially repaired the damage that was done. I also want to make it clear, neither myself, nor my wife, nor my sons have commented on this situation on social media as well as on any portal. We have not used the services of any law firm in this regard." So, as you may imagine, this apology was far too late, and it actually received, of course, mixed reviews. It was too little too late, and his reputation is still in tatters, and pretty much nobody believes him anymore. People in Poland and also some of the lawmakers actually chimed in and said that he has done so much reputational damage, not only to himself, to the company, but also to the Polish people. Now, let's go and take a look at what could have been done and what does that show us of Piotr's leadership, if any at all. Piotr doesn't have integrity, honor, or humbleness at all. If he had any of those leadership skills, this would have never amounted to a scandal or even a big story at all. Now, let's take a look at the timeline again and see how an actual good leader would have solved this situation. So on Thursday, the 28th of August, when he actually took the hat from the kid, even if he didn't know, that's up for debate. I'm not exactly sure if he knew or not. But in any case, as soon as the social media gained traction and he saw himself being the talk of the situation, what he should have done instead of blocking or privating all of his social media accounts, he should have reached out and said, "Who is this kid? I want to give him the hat back. I apologize. I made a mistake. I didn't know that that hat was intended for him." And he could have actually had the photo shoot with the kid. People would have been definitely filming, and on Friday or Saturday, this story would have been done, and nobody would have been talking about it on Monday or even this whole week. So what we can see here is he doesn't have any integrity, any honor, and he didn't have humbleness. Because what I do think that he was thinking is he wanted to double down, and he doubled down probably with releasing the statements that he was faster and that he was going to sue anybody that was trying to defame him. Well, whilst you can do this as a CEO and a millionaire in your company, you can't do this in the court of public opinion and when people actually look at you what you did. So this backfired tremendously. Even though he apologized on Monday, again, it was too little, too late, because the damage has been done. And I sincerely doubt that he's learned that much from this situation at all. Because again, you don't get integrity, honor, or humbleness within a few days. You need to build those up. You need to build those up for years to come. And there's also one big thing that I always keep telling people and my clients is that you can build your integrity and honor for years, and then you can destroy them within 5 minutes or within an afternoon. And this is exactly what happened here. Piotr's company, which he co-founded, he was building it since 1999. And now it's in tatters. I'm really curious in the next 6 months what his revenues or profits of his company are actually going to be, because I can almost imagine that they're going to crater down just because he made this stupid thing because he thought, in my opinion, that he was entitled to it, and that just because he's a CEO, he's a multimillionaire, he can just get away with it. And quite frankly, he could have just bought a memorabilia like that. He has the money. And now his reputation is in shatters. His respect and trust in him and in his company are gone because he is going to be equated with the company. And if he is like this when nobody is watching, that means that probably his whole company is like this. If I were Piotr, what I would have done is that if I actually took that hat on the 28th of August, as soon as I got whiff of that people were talking about me on social media, that I was a fraud, that I was a jerk, or whatever they were saying, the first thing that I would have done was that I would have issued a statement that, hey, I didn't want this to happen. I made a mistake. I do apologize. And I really want to know who this kid is so that I can return him the hat. And then as soon as I knew who this kid was, I would have cleared my whole schedule. And just to make sure that if I could, I would have gone to this kid's place or wherever he was okay to meeting him. Even if I had to drive 2-3 hours, it wouldn't matter. I would have gone there as soon as I could. So that would have been either Thursday night or Friday morning or whatever. But definitely Friday would have been my last day that I would have been giving him the hat back, because it would have been that important to me. And the story would have probably died on Saturday or Sunday. And it would have even probably gotten me a positive bump that I reacted so quickly that I took care of the situation. As leaders, one of the key for our success is that we have integrity and honor, and we need to make sure that we nurture them throughout our careers and throughout our lives. Because without integrity and honor, we're pretty much done. Nobody's going to trust us. Nobody's going to respect us. And we're not going to get far. Well, some people will get far, but as a good leader, if you don't have integrity or honor, you're not going to get to the heights that you can, and you're not going to fulfill your full leadership potential that I know you have it in you.